A state lawmaker in Rhode Island is calling for a new way to curb the potential growing cost of goods from newly imposed tariffs by the Trump administration. Representative Joseph McNamara wants Governor Dan McKee to use royal charter powers to create free trade zones in the state. So what exactly does that mean? We asked Representative McNamara to join us today to kind of break this down for us. So thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'd like to start by having you explain, what is the royal charter power?
The Royal Charter was written by King George II in 1663. It gave the colony of Rhode Island certain powers of government and governance, including trade. And in that document, King George states that the governor shall have the ability to trade freely with other colonies. So yesterday I requested respectfully that our governor use that power to establish specific free trade zones in Rhode Island and trade agreements, especially with Quonset. We have a very vital and prosperous car import business connected by rail, so I can see this being the East Coast hub for foreign auto imports.
Now, a lot has been going on, obviously, at the White House in recent days with these tariffs. We do want to show a quick clip from the White House press secretary yesterday talking about China's retaliatory tariffs on the U.S.
When you punch at the United States of America, President Trump is going to punch back harder.
So that was just yesterday, and then the U.S. imposed 125% back on China. Are you concerned that if Rhode Island tried doing something like this, we would really get on the bad side of the federal government?
Well, I was very impressed that President Trump, he rescinded these taxes for 90 days. That being said, I know the president is an admirer of monarchs, and King George II is a well-known monarch. Secondly, President Trump likes old laws. He used the war law of 1812 to incarcerate people without due process, so that's been proven. And thirdly, he likes to litigate. So if he's upset and he wants to litigate with Rhode Island because he thinks we do not have the power, I would simply quote him and say, see us in court.
Now, we asked the governor's office for a comment on your proposal, and here's what we got here. A spokesperson said in part that Rhode Island has been designated as a foreign trade known as a free trade zone since 2018. And while it provides financial advantages, it doesn't allow the state to avoid federal tariffs or create independent trade policies. Your response?
My response is, at least one other state has done this. And if any state has the ability to do it, it should be Rhode Island, because we were granted this right by King George II in 1663.
This obviously is a pretty out-of-the-box idea, out-of-the-box thinking. When Governor McKee went to the White House and President Trump said to him, "We like Rhode Island," McKee said, "We hope to keep it that way." So do you think there's any chance that this will actually happen, knowing that Governor McKee seemingly doesn't want to upset the White House, and this would 100% upset the White House?
I think President Trump respects the state. I think he also respects history and the fact that he himself can go back to 1812 and utilize a law shouldn't exclude a state from doing the same.
All right. Well, very interesting stuff for sure. Representative, thank you so much for being here and talking about this with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.